Hi, I'm Joy Lawrence. Welcome to my online English class. In this video, I will go over the syllabus and show you how to navigate my course. I'm not going to go over the entire syllabus because I recognize that would be super boring. I do want to hit the highlights though, so let's get started. I'd like to start with the syllabus. Here we are on our Canvas course homepage. This picture here is a picture of the first page of my syllabus. If you click on that, it will open the syllabus for you. These are the books that you'll need for my course. This textbook, Portable Literature, Reading, Reacting, Writing by Kersner and Mandel, and Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Berendt. You can get these from our campus bookstore, from Amazon. You can get them from the lending library. I do have several copies in the lending library, so that is definitely worth checking out too. Each week I will post 2 announcements. One will be posted on Friday, and that will go over what we're going to be covering the following week. On Tuesdays, I will post a midweek announcement, and that will give you information about some resources. It'll have reminders and things like that. The assignments from the first week are all mandatory, and they all need to be completed to remain in the course. Let me skip down to page 6 of the syllabus, where you'll find the schedule of assignments. Here are all of the assignments that are due the first week. Notice that discussions cover 2 days. So the first day you will post your original comment, and then the second day of the discussion you will post responses to things that other people have said. Now it doesn't mean that you have to go in on these days. It's just you have to complete your original post by this day, and you have to complete your 2 follow-up posts by the second day. Discussions are locked down until the Friday before they happen. So here, for example, our discussion for the storm will open up on January 21st, and you can go in at any time between January 21st and 11:55 p.m. on January 25th to do your initial post. If other people have posted things, then you're welcome to go ahead and do your responses then. Otherwise, you'll want to come back when others have posted and do your follow-ups. If you have any questions about any of the assignments or anything in the course, please send me an email. I'm happy to answer questions. Notice that I also have how many points each assignment is worth. So you can keep track of how many points everything is worth if you're keeping track of how many points you're earning as you go. Now we're going to go back up to page 2 of the syllabus. Here is a breakdown of how many points everything is worth. I know I just told you that the schedule of assignments also has the number of points everything is worth, but if you just wanted to get a quick at a glance to see, this is a good place to go for that. This is a good point for me to also let you know that I go off of points in the class, not percentages. So you should be paying attention to how many points you're earning as the course goes on, and not the percentage that you have in the course. Once you hit 900 points, you are guaranteed the A for the class. Not 90%, not once you hit 90%, once you hit 900 points. So you need at least 600 points to get a D, at least 700 points to get a C, at least 800 to get a B, at least 900 to get an A. And that's how many points you have at the end of the semester. Notice that all of the assignments are due by 11:55 p.m. on their due dates. I am not up at 11:55 p.m. I go to bed early because I get up very early. So if you have any problems, then you should try to submit your assignments during my office hours so that if you do have problems or you do have questions, you have access to me right then. We will be writing 3 formal essays in this class. The first 2 essays you get to revise. We'll also have peer reviews for those first 2 essays. And let me just skip back down to the schedule of assignments again to explain that a little better. I think if you can see it, it helps. I'm going to go to essay 2. For example, essay number 2 is due April 4th. So the week before essay number 2 is due, we'll have a peer review where 2 of your peers will look at your essay and give you feedback, and you will look at the essays of 2 of your peers to give them feedback. The essay will then be due on April 4th, and this is the one that you will turn in to me for a grade. So you'll get that peer review feedback. It'll be due the Thursday of the week that you have the peer review. And then you'll use that feedback to revise your essay to turn it in to me. Once you have turned in your essay, and then after I have graded it, you will have 2 weeks to revise it for a higher grade. You also will have to do a 300-word mandatory reflection talking about the changes you made, how they make the essay better, and why your essay now deserves a higher grade. Again, you have 2 weeks after I've graded your essay to use the feedback that I have provided you to raise your grade. Please do not plagiarize in my class. If you plagiarize an assignment, you will get a 0 on that assignment and you will not have an opportunity to resubmit it. If you plagiarize an essay, you will get a 0 on the essay and you will not have an opportunity to resubmit it or revise it for a higher grade. In addition, I have to turn in cases of plagiarism to the Dean of Students because PC is keeping track of plagiarism cases. So let's just avoid all of that messy ugliness and don't plagiarize at all. I don't accept late work in my courses, and it's not because I'm trying to be difficult. I have 2 main reasons. One is to keep me from going insane, yes, because it's difficult for my brain to toggle back and forth if a bunch of students are handing in assignments from different classes from different points in the semester. Also, I feel it is beneficial for students to jump right back in if they've been sick or if they've missed assignments and start right back where we are instead of trying to get caught back up and falling behind in other assignments. So because I don't accept late work, I offer extra credit. So if you missed an assignment, then you can do one of the extra credit opportunities that I have. There's an extra credit module that I will show you in a little bit. And I also have other extra credit opportunities that I have throughout the semester. So you'll want to be paying attention to the announcements to catch those. Remember that everything is due by 11:55 p.m. on the due date. So if you have trouble with something or you have an error message that Canvas is giving you, then I will accept it, but you have to take a screenshot of the error message and you have to get your assignment to me still before the deadline. If you are waiting until the last minute and Canvas doesn't accept your assignment because you have missed the deadline, I will not accept your assignment. So I can't stress this enough. Work ahead when you can. Let me go back to the schedule of assignments. Everything is already open except for the discussions, the midterm, and the final. The discussions open the Friday before they are due, and the midterm will open up the Friday before it's due, and the final also will open up the Friday before it's due. All other assignments are open now. So you could go in, you could do the readings, take the quizzes, start working on the essays, get ahead when you can. Go back up here. These are the drop deadlines. If you decide this class isn't for you at this time, then make sure you drop it in time to get a refund and have it not appear on your transcript. I base attendance on participation in the course. Submitting assignments, participating in discussions, taking quizzes, all of that. If you go 2 weeks without participating in the course, you don't do any assignments, you don't do any discussions, no quizzes, then I will drop you from the course. If you miss 2 weeks of the course but you do not wish to be dropped, then make sure to email me. At the end of my syllabus is a page with frequently asked questions. I recommend that you take a look at that because you might have a question that will be answered. Also, make sure that you take a look at the schedule of assignments so that you get an idea of the pacing of the course. I'm going to go back to our home page. Here at the top of the page, when we have announcements, is where the announcements will be posted. The last 3 recent announcements will be posted there. Here you have a Getting Started section where we have the syllabus that I've already gone over, the welcome video that you're watching now. This Start button will take you directly to the overview page of the first module. This stack of books here will take you directly to the textbook page where I have some links where you can go to find your textbooks. This picture here will be linked to the module that we're working on each week, and it will be updated each week. So right now we're working on Module 1. So that picture will take you directly to the first module. I also will continuously update the schedule at a glance on the home page. So each week I'll put from the syllabus the assignments that we're working on that week, that a screenshot of that. Here's a link for my office hours that I'm hosting on Zoom. You'll find me there on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon, and on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Here's some Canvas resources. For example, if you want to manage your notification settings in Canvas, there's where you can do that. There's a link for a tutorial for that. Here's a tutorial for viewing your grades. An orientation for Canvas. If you're unfamiliar, then I strongly recommend that you check that out. The modules, this is the best way to navigate my course. So each one represents a week of the course. So week 1 is for week 1, week 2, etc. You'll see that each module has an overview page that gives you the basics of what's going to happen in that module, along with the deliverables of what you'll be doing for each module. You'll want to work through them in order because that's the best way to make sure that you don't miss out on any instructions or quizzes or resources or assignments. Finally, I wanted to show you that extra credit module. Here it is in between the modules for weeks 4 and 5, and each one is worth 10 points. So you'll want to see, most of them are TED Talks, but they aren't all TED Talks. You'll want to see what the instructions are, and then you'll want to write a 500-word reflection on each one. You have until April 28th to complete any of the extra credit assignments in the extra credit module. Again, I will be having some additional extra credit assignments sprinkled throughout the semester, and you'll want to watch the announcements for those. Well, I think that about covers my syllabus and course navigation. If you have any questions, send me an email so I can answer them. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great semester.